Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to look at an essential Chinese recipe that practically will make any Chinese dish stand out. I guarantee you this recipe will be better than anything you can buy at the stores. This is Chinese chili oil. So if you have a Chinese pantry of spices and ingredients, this should be really easy to knock out. Ever since I started making my own chili oil, I never went back to the store to buy any chili oil. So what you need is 3/4 cup of hot chili pepper. Look for the Sichuan pepper flakes in the Chinese supermarket. Don't go to the American supermarket and get that chili pepper. It won't give the same flavor. The brand I'm using is this one. This is what's available at my Chinese supermarket. I'll also post a link to another Sichuan chili pepper, which is also I highly recommend. You can get off of Amazon. Optionally, this is total optional. If you want to add your own peppers, go ahead. Here I'm also using Chinese red pepper, and this is Thai bird chili flakes. I like to add the combination of these to give my chili oil a unique flavor, but this is totally optional. You also need about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of salt, at least 5 star anise, 1 cinnamon stick, about 2 or 3 bay leaves, and last but not least, your Sichuan peppercorn. So when we get frying, we'll put the salt and the chili pepper to the side because we'll need this later. For the oil, we'll just toss everything together. And let's get frying. For this recipe, you need about 1.5 cups of oil. I preferably use neutral oil like vegetable oil or peanut oil if you have. Here I'm using vegetable oil, so I'm adding 3/4. Once you have your oil in the pan, toss in all your spices. What we want is the oil to start to boil, and then we're going to cut the heat down to the lowest point to around maybe 220 degrees Fahrenheit to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, nothing any higher. So this is going to be like the lowest setting on your, when it starts to boil, or you want to once it starts boiling, cut the heat, then we're going to start counting our 30-minute countdown. So alright, we'll be right back. You already see right here that the oil is already bubbling, and once you read the temperature, it should be around between 220 and 250 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want any higher. If it gets higher than that, take it off the heat. So we're gonna let this boil for another 30 minutes. So while the spices are cooking in the oil behind us, giving that fragrant smell throughout the house, let's get ready our spice jar. Here I'm using a Bell mason jar. This holds about a pint of oil. You also want a funnel ready and a strainer to filter out the spices in the oil. So alright, the first thing to do is we're going to add our pepper flakes. Next, we're going to add our salt. Now this is totally optional. You can add additional spices like garlic and ginger. This is about 1 clove of garlic and 1 or 2 slices of ginger, diced and minced. This is totally optional, but I love to add this stuff. And like I said before, I like to add additional hot pepper to it. So I add at least two of these to spice mix. And about 2 Thai redbird chilies. So by now, 30 minutes elapsed and you're ready to transfer the spice oil into your mason jar. So get your funnel and your strainer ready. And just grab your oil directly from the stove and just pour it in slowly. So I made this more than a dozen times and I know where the oil cuts off. So a cup and a half will fill up 1 pint of mason jar just up to the rim. Now I'm going to discard the spices because there's no longer use for them. You notice that the oil is still relatively warm and it's releasing the heat from the oil heat from the peppers. So give it a quick stir. Now you can keep this in the fridge or at room temperature for up to 6 months, but in this household, this will be gone in less than a month. I guarantee you if you make this thing at home, it tastes way better than anything you get at the stores. This is a fundamental spice that we add to almost all our dishes and I highly recommend it. And there we have it, our Chinese chili oil. So if you like this recipe, hit the like button. If you want to see more recipes like this, subscribe. Thoughts, comments, and suggestions put in the section below. I'd love to hear back from you guys. Like always, happy cooking and peace out.